I don't know what new training routine some of these players did over the summer, but the amount of MVP level games that we've seen so far this season is just ridiculous, and we're only like 4 or 5 games into the season. Nikola Jokic had his perfect triple-double game. Blake Griffin just had a monster game the other night, and then we have a few more to talk about that just happened last night too. I've never seen so many players start off a season playing at this high of a level. Once again, it's only 4 to 5 games into the season right now, but we still have 5 guys in the league who are averaging better than 30 points per game. Another 12 to 13 players that are averaging over 25 a game, and then another like 35 players averaging over 20 a game. It's unbelievable. Steph Curry, let me holler at you for a second here, G. You saw all the fuss that everyone was creating about Blake Griffin scoring 50 the other night. Blake was feeling good about it. Blake fans were feeling good about it until you come around the very next game and steal all of the Blake Griffin thunder by dropping 51 points in 3 quarters. You said it took Blake overtime to do what I can do in just 3 quarters. And matter of fact, let me add another point on top of that. When Steph Curry gets into a rhythm, the game should just be called. There is no point in continuing. When he's taking and making half-court shots as a heat check, what is the point of continuing the game? That man, when he catches fire like that, becomes the most dangerous offensive player in NBA history, and I mean that. There has never been a player before where when he approaches half-court, you have to be all up on him. He instills fear into the heart of the opposing team and defenses as soon as he crosses the half-court line. No other player in NBA history has had that effect on the offensive end. 11 of 16 from 3 yesterday, almost made as many triples himself as the Wizards did as a team. And for the Wizards, the Warriors were disrespecting y'all big time last night. Kevin Durant was calling y'all weak, saying that he was wasting his time playing against you. And Steph Curry admitted that Golden State pretty much just turned this into a challenge for Curry to see how difficult of shots he could make. Listen to this. The last 3 in the first quarter was probably the funniest thing that I've experienced on the court. 2 guys on our team are yelling from the time that I was at the free throw line, "Don't pass it. Don't pass it. You better shoot it." All that type of stuff. That's going through my head while I'm dribbling down. That's kind of all the motivation you need. Just launch it. Thankfully, it went in. But that's not even all he said, as he also admitted that his teammates were just daring him to take different shots throughout the game, just for the fun of it. It's just one of those nights that you have so much fun playing the game, taking some dare shots and trying to sustain that for as long as I'm out there on the floor. There was one play in the first quarter where Steph Curry dribbles the ball up the floor, is met by 3 defenders for the Washington Wizards. Literally had 3 defenders for the Wizards right there paying attention to him, trying to crowd the 3-point line, and he pulls it in all of their faces and gets nothing but the bottom. The game should have been called after that. I'm sorry, what was the point of continuing the game after seeing that, refs? Man had 18 straight points for the Warriors in the first quarter. That ain't fair. 28.5 points, 16.5 rebounds, 6.8 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal. That is what Giannis Antetokounmpo is averaging throughout the first 4 games of the season. That doesn't even sound right, does it? The scoring does. I can see Giannis averaging 28.5 points per game. He averaged 27 last year, so that's nothing out of the ordinary. I can even see the assists. He was averaging a 5 a game last year, so I can for sure see him going up to about 7 a game this year. But 16.5 rebounds per game, you hear that and you think that there's no way that he can sustain this throughout the course of the season, that this has just been the first 4 games of the year. He's going to cool off. That's what you would think, right? But then I thought about it and I was like, actually, Giannis rebounding like this so far to start the season makes a lot of sense. Because first of all, Giannis Antetokounmpo put on a lot of weight and a lot of muscle over the course of the offseason. He got stronger, and that's of course going to help him down low, get some more rebounds. But not only that, you also take into account that the NBA and the Milwaukee Bucks in general are playing with a much faster pace this year. And when the pace quickens, that's going to lead to more rebounding opportunities. So Giannis has more rebounds to get. He did average 10 a game last year, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that he averages more than that this year, even if that's 14, 15, or 16 rebounds a night. So yeah, it's definitely possible that Giannis keeps this up and averages 28 to 30 points, about 15 rebounds, and 7 assists per game. The crazy thing about that is, even when I was saying that still wouldn't even guarantee him winning the MVP. That's how many amazing players are in the NBA right now. The Bucks are undefeated right now, keep that in mind, but so are the New Orleans Pelicans, and Anthony Davis has been just as much of a beast as Giannis Antetokounmpo has. Steph Curry is out here looking like he wants to be in the MVP race again. If the Pistons can keep winning like they've been winning, Blake Griffin might have his name thrown in there too. The level that the players are playing at this year, it's insane. And just thinking about this confirms that this is the most talented era in NBA history. We have never seen so much talent in the NBA at one time. Back to Giannis though. Can you guys believe that this guy is only 23 years old? Giannis Antetokounmpo, 23 years old. We're not even seeing the best of Giannis yet. We won't be able to see the best of Giannis for a few more years down the line. And despite all of that, I'm up here talking about he could average 28 to 30 points, 14, 15, 16 rebounds, and 7 assists per game. We're talking about Giannis doing that when he's not even at his peak yet. Let that sink in for a bit. Take a look at this play right here real quick.
Overplay. Oh my goodness, what a tremendous play. Did not give up on a play, chases him off the line. I mean,
that's just proof that this man's defensive awareness is set all the way to a 99. He realized what was going to happen and just dove. Spidey senses tingled and let him know what was about to happen, and he just reacted and got the steal. And then he admitted to this after the game by saying, I just dove for the ball, had the awareness that he was going to bounce past it to him, and I just got the steal even though I couldn't see at all. And this just so happens to happen right after Skip Bayless said that he would take Jimmy Butler over Kawhi Leonard.
I'll take Jimmy Butler over Kawhi Leonard any day. I will.
Imagine actually believing that Jimmy Butler is better than Kawhi Leonard. But then again, Skip Bayless is a Spurs fan, so I'm sure he's just salty that Kawhi Leonard left the Spurs. But Kawhi was special last night as well. 35 points on 65% shooting from the field. And the Raptors remain undefeated as well. Man, this is about to be such a great season. And the Los Angeles Lakers got their first win of the season thanks to Lance Stevenson. And also finally bring KCP out of the bench and starting Josh Hart. Took you 4 games, Luke Walton, but at least you finally did it right. And KCP actually looked much better coming out the bench too. He looked like he belonged in the NBA out the bench. But anyways, Lance Stevenson got the Lakers this 131-113 win over Phoenix with his 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. Bad news for Suns fans though is that Devin Booker did have to leave this game early with a strained hamstring. After the game though, he did say that he doesn't think it's anything serious, but we'll have to wait until later today to find out how much time he's expected to miss. For the Lakers though, most people did feel like this was a must-win game for them in order to avoid falling to 0-4 on the year. Like, the media would have been having a field day, and the Lakers are 0-4 in the year, so it's a great thing that they went out there and got this win. The Chicago Bulls also got their first win of the season yesterday, and Zach LaVine continues his early season dominance as well, becoming the first Bulls player since Michael Jordan to start out the season with 4 straight 30-point games. Minnesota, y'all really traded the wrong player, as his 32 points combined with Cameron Payne coming out of nowhere to have a career night where he hit 7 threes and scored 21 points, get the Bulls the 112-110 win over Charlotte. Hashtag free Kemba. At first, it seemed like Luka Doncic was taking this game against a team that traded him on draft night personally, as both he and the Mavericks came out looking to embarrass Atlanta on their home court, leading 42-22 after one even had a 26-point lead at one point in time as well, until they blew it. Yep, this time it was Atlanta who made the 20-point comeback to get the win. 111-104. Kent Bazemore scoring 32 on the night. What is up with the Houston Rockets this year? Yes, they were without Chris Paul last night, and yes, James Harden did leave the game in the 4th quarter with some tightness in his hamstring, but still, the Rockets still just haven't looked good at all so far this year, as they now fall to 1-3 on the year with the 100-89 loss to the Jazz. Look, something about Houston just seems off right now. If not for that brawl in the Lakers versus Rockets game, the Lakers probably could have won that game and the Rockets might be 0-4 right now. Mike D'Antoni did say after the game though, the Rockets are going through some growing pains, and he's not too worried just yet. He still thinks they're going to be a really good team, but from what I'm seeing right now, they don't seem like the same team as last year, but hopefully that does change soon. Anyways, Donovan Mitchell, on any other night, you would have had the game of the night. People would have been going crazy about the performance that you had, but last night you were just one out of many great performances, as he had 38 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds. Dang, the Pacers just made Greg Popovich call his players defensively challenged. Look, it does hurt for the Spurs though that they did lose DeJounte Murray early in the season. This guy was an all-NBA defensive guard, so that's going to hurt a lot. But yeah, they got some work to do on the defensive end, that's for sure. 116-96 the final score, and this one is Indy shoots over 50% from the floor and 50% from deep. Oladipo with 21 points and 9 assists, and also still waiting on Miles Turner to show us all of that progress that he apparently made over the summer to warrant the contract that Indy just gave him, because from what I've seen so far, Domantas Sabonis is still the better player. And the Cleveland Cavaliers just learned their 4th lesson of the year. Of course, I'm referring to when Tyronn Lue said right before the season started that there's no such thing as wins and losses, only wins and lessons for the Cavs this year. But coach, look, an L will always be an L, and y'all took or learned another one yesterday against the Nets, 102-86. D'Lo with 18 points and 8 assists. Zion Williamson will be really fun to watch on the Knicks next year. If you're a Knicks fan, that's what you're gonna have to keep telling yourself for the rest of the season, because it's about to be a real long season for you guys, as the Miami Heat routed the Knicks yesterday 110-87. Josh Richardson with 21 points and 8 rebounds, while Whiteside had 22 points and 14 rebounds of his own. So De'Aaron Fox still looks really good so far, as his 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists get the Kings a 97-92 win over Memphis. But I can't be the only person who is concerned by the fact that Marvin Bagley isn't even starting for the Kings, right? Like, that can't be a good sign. Anyways, that brings us to the player of the day, where you guys have the opportunity to vote for who you think had the best performance from last night by clicking the little eye icon in the top right hand corner of the video. Just remember though, the only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. And yesterday, of course, that player was Blake Griffin with his 50 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists. That does it for everything that we had to talk about today though, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and smack that like button and subscribe to the channel with post notifications turned on so you can stay up to date with everything that goes on in the NBA on a daily basis. Thank you once again for watching though. You guys already know that you are the real MVPs, but until tomorrow, I'm out of here. Peace!